Yes, hello. This is Bradley Hayes coming to you for YouTube Universe. I just have a few things to say. You know, gun violence. It's a horrible thing. Before I go on my rant, I want to state publicly that I feel sorry for the families of Sandy Hook. I feel sorry for the families in Aurora, which the president didn't even mention in his speech, by the way. Or maybe he did, I don't know, but I didn't hear it. The senator that got shot. Anybody that's a victim of gun violence, I feel sorry for them. That's a sucky thing. And I don't blame them for stuff. What I do is I blame the government for trying to use them to plead their case. Because they want to get guns off the street. They want to get guns out of Americans' hands. I have my theories on why, but I'm not going to get into that at the moment. That might be another post. Maybe if I'm brave enough. But what gets me is that his speech was just lie after lie. He's saying that 90% of Americans, let's go with that first. 90% of Americans want this law passed. Oh, really? So what? He polled 90%. He polled 100% of America to find out the 90%. What kind of poll did he use? What was the questions? What exactly was asked? Because you can do a lot with polls to make them lean your way. All it takes is wording the questions in such a way that while you're thinking you're answering one question, you're answering another question. And I know this because they taught us how to write polls in college, and we had to write one and have people take it and then turn it in, and we were taught the ins and outs of writing polls. So I know that polls are very subjective to who's writing them. First off. So, come on, give me a break. With 90% of Americans. Here's another reason why I don't think that's true. If that was true, don't you think 90% of the Republicans would have voted for the bill, not against it? No, they didn't. They voted for it. Because besides a few political cowards, which did vote the other way, by the way, the bulk of them know what the people of this nation want. People of this nation do not want to lose their guns, especially in these trying times where crime is skyrocketing and things are getting out of control. They don't want to lose their guns. And so don't tell me 90% of America wants to get rid of guns, wanted this law passed. I don't know how many guns people are buying it. From what I've heard of people that buy guns at gun shows, they still have to go through the background check. If they buy them over the internet, I think there's still something they have to do. So they want to make it sound like anybody and everybody can buy a gun over the internet or at a gun show. And I just don't think that's true. Some people maybe slip through the cracks on that. But that's the thing about guns is, when people that commit gun crimes, they're illegal. They're using illegal guns anyway that they either stole or they bought off somebody illegally. There's no way to stop that. But by putting all these other things into place, to try to stop it, all you're doing is keeping good people from having guns. Criminals are always going to get guns. They've been getting guns since guns were created. People have been getting them. And they're going to keep getting them. But what's going to happen is good, honest people are not going to be able to protect themselves against that. You tell me about, I don't get that. I'm still baffled about the 90%. And, the family, one of the families came out and they gave their sad sob story. And maybe I'm playing it kind of mean that way, saying that. But, they're using those families. Those families need to wake up and realize they're being used by our government, by certain people in our government, to try to get laws passed that could very well affect us as a nation in the future in a negative way. There was just so many things that was said. They said they weren't going to be defeated. Well, they were defeated. Obama says that 80% of Republicans wanted to support this law. Well, that's funny because 90% of them voted against it. So how does the math add up on that one? I don't know. I'm not that good at math, but, I think it's kind of common sense if 90% of the Republicans in the Senate voted against that law, then it's kind of hard to believe that 80% of them would back the law. I just don't get that. I think that's just, he inflates the statistics, because Obama's a liar. I'll go on here and I will say it. Obama is a liar. Anybody that knows anything and follows politics for any length of time knows that Obama is a liar. He hangs out with liars. He follows liars. He is a liar. I know that may not be the most politically correct thing to say, because everybody that speaks out against the president, especially if you're white, is considered a racist. Well, I'm not a racist. I love black Americans, Afro Americans, whatever you want to call yourselves. I love you guys, but I don't love Obama. It breaks my heart that I had to vote against him, because I always hoped that I'd get to vote for the first black president. But no, I couldn't vote for him because I knew about him. I researched him. I knew what he was about. I knew who he hung out with. He hung out with American terrorists, Bill Ayers. You read up on him, and that was one of Obama's buddies. He hung out with people like the Reverend Wright, even though he says that, even though he went to the church for 20 years, he has no clue what the man was saying. I'm sorry, if you go to church for 20 years and you don't get what the pastor's saying, maybe you just might not be qualified to be a president if you have that little understanding about something. It's either you don't have very good understanding about something, or you don't have much ability or energy to actually learn what you're talking about. So, or you just don't apply yourself, and all those are bad things we don't want in a president. There's so much I could rant on. I wanted to stick this mainly to the gun control issue, because that's the thing that set me off today. But it's just ridiculous. You want to take people's guns away so they can't protect themselves. How do we know that in the future, the way they keep doing this, and let's say they get all their little laws passed, and pretty soon no America is allowed to have a gun. I know they're saying that's not what their goal is. No, it's not what their goal is right now. Their goal is to do it in increments. They're not going to tell you that part, but they want to take your guns away. They're just going to take their time in doing it. So really, yeah, I was wrong. Backtracking what I said a little bit, they do want to take your guns away. Don't let them fool you. They won't want people to have guns. But they know at this current stage in the game, they're not going to get that. So they have to go for increments. Little by little, law by law, they're going to change. It's going to eventually, one day we're going to wake up and realize, damn, nobody can own a gun anymore that's a citizen. The only people that have guns are soldiers and cops. And criminals, of course. Because like I said, criminals are always going to get guns. They'll find a way. Because there's always corrupt people that'll sell them guns. You can have all the background checks you want in the world. If somebody wants to sell you a gun illegally, they're going to sell you a gun illegally. But what it would do is keep most of the people from having them. And the types of guns that they're trying to ban, also, I don't think it was part of this particular law, or little handguns and rifles, hunting rifles, and stuff like that. Give me a break. They want to take our guns away. And if we don't stand up to them and tell them no. And when I say this, our guns, I don't have a gun. I live in government housing. We're not allowed to have guns here. Otherwise, I would have one. Because I don't see nothing wrong with having a gun to protect yourself. I've been a victim of crime. I've been mugged. I've been beat up. I've had things happen to me over the years. And I wish I would have had a gun, because I was shot the mug in self-defense. And probably wouldn't have had stuff happen to me. But hey, that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying, we got problems. And if we think that taking guns away would have stopped the gunning in Aurora, or Sandy Hook, or Gafford Gibby, whatever the heck her name is, or any of the shootings over the years, Columbine, you name them. No, all those situations where people stealing guns from other people. In Sandy Hook, the guy took the guns from his mom, who had them legally, who was a survivalist, which the government doesn't like survivalists, because they know that they're smart enough to realize that they can't trust the government, and that the government could turn on them, and getting prepared for that. They don't like that. So they speak out against them. Just like they speak out against evangelical Christians and other groups whenever they get a chance. So I gotta go for now, but I just want. I have a lot more I could say. Normally I try to get on here and just preach the good word of the Bible, and that's my goal in life. Is to tell people about Jesus. But I'm sorry, I love my Jesus, but I think people should be able to have a gun if they want it without the government trying to take it away from them. I agree. Felons shouldn't have it. Rapists shouldn't have it. Mentally retarded people and psychotic people shouldn't have it. And they're not allowed to have them. The way the background checks are already set up, those people are ineligible to be able to have a gun. So don't let them fool you. I gotta go. I'll see you later.